It is a great reset.
We need a great reset.
Yes, we do. Are we building back better?
Build back better. Build back better.
Blah, blah, blah.
Build back better. We will build Babylon better. This time, a new world order.
Fastcompany.com. It's very
Tell
fast.
me about these Gen Xers guns.
Yeah, they have a headline here.
These
Is
pesky
Generation
little rascals. These pesky little rascals.
Is
Yes.
Generation X driving a digital crisis amid the Great Reset?
You know, as a millennial, it's nice for somebody else to take the blame for once.
5 ways leaders can reverse the trend. The sub-headline here, I believe we need intergenerational collaboration and leadership that is blind to age and wide awake to the challenges, and more importantly, the opportunities before us.
Now,
Doesn't sound like a ageist article, but it is.
Yeah, I hope you had some things highlighted. I read through this. It's quite dense and annoying, but...
Yes, exactly what I wanted. I wanted to. And, that is a barometer of the show. How much will articles annoy Basil? As I read through that, I go, this one will really get to him.
This one already.
So this article starts off. I do have
feathers.
highlights, so don't worry. It starts like this. I believe there is no evading the fact that we are witnessing a grand leadership deficit spanning sectors and industries. It became apparent to me after countless meetings with executives and managers that boomers who overcame all odds to build successful companies are finding themselves drowning in a sea of all things digital. A sea of all things digital, Basil. Where's that first beast come out of? The sea.
The digital sea. Okay.
From my experience in these meetings, many of the managers whom executives rely on, often titled chief marketing officers and marketing directors, are often unable or unwilling to address knowledge deficits. So I like how they're just realizing that there's a leadership deficit as well as a knowledge deficit. Feels like something that has been a problem for pretty much since post-fall of humanity back in like the Garden of Eden days. But this guy's just realizing it. In numerous meetings, they've indicated they do not have any interest in how content marketing, social media, website design, and other tools and channels work. I believe resisting change and the adoption of technology is impeding young people from opportunities to contribute and lead, and also preventing older generations and leaders from attaining the growth and value they seek in their business operations. It's time to embrace digital transformation. You understand this, Basil? You're going to tell all your Gen X friends it's time for them to embrace the digital transformation. A simple search on Google bears an overwhelming amount of data highlighting record-breaking problems, whether it is the cost of living, energy costs, homelessness, violent crime, extreme poverty, or climate change. Isn't
AI supposed to solve all those things?
Quiet. This is written in the article, Fast Company. As global order undergoes a realignment amid the Great Reset.
Hey, that's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, no. We are undergoing a realignment. The global order is going under realignment amid the Great Reset, capital Great Reset, by the way. I believe we in the United States must take seriously the need to bring institutions and companies fully into the 21st century and improve systems to advance society. Wow. Okay. So admitting that there is a Great Reset and there's realignment happening with the global order, and old people get out of the way or get drown in the sea of information, digital information.
Yeah. Or just fail, It's really a brutal, almost, I don't know, it's very dark what they're saying.
Well, listen to the way they characterize this, because there is something here. Okay. I believe no one wants to experience a difficult time when it comes to shopping for needed household items when they are busy working and managing the different dynamics of life. No one wants to sit and stare at a confusing government website when they're trying to file for unemployment during a pandemic. Even the simplest changes to websites can help consumers and citizens better navigate platforms to achieve their goals with a user-friendly experience. I believe digital transformation is radically changing many companies' approach to all things digital, from websites to apps to content and branding. It can harmonize your enterprise and organization, as well as your brand, markets, audiences, purpose, and value. And it goes into some money, the cost of resisting change, saying that according to the International Data Corporation, they said that $6.8 trillion will be spent on digital transformation by 2023. Almost $7 trillion. That is a lot of money.
Seems like a bit of an overestimate to me, but perhaps not. Who knows?
Print that cash. Why is this happening? If a CEO doesn't fully understand digital transformation and how it works, they cannot implement and sustain frameworks. And it goes into some, just some examples there about the different ways in which there is a lack. If CEOs and their senior leadership teams cannot handle transformation or select the right people for the job, it is likely from what I've seen that there will not be the gains from digital transformation that should be manifested through the process. In my experience, many Gen Xers practice the art of seduction with endless Excel spreadsheets and PowerPoint presentations. I've observed that these comfort blankets can hold companies back from executing valuable marketing strategies, perpetuating the hamster wheel of outdated marketing practices. Oh, those Excel spreadsheets and PowerPoint presentations are old news now. You better move on or be left behind.
Watch out, Excel.
The value of marketing channels such as LinkedIn for business, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I've seen firsthand in my company and in the clients we serve that by sharing content marketing, the entire ecosystem of a company can expand and their talent may feel more fulfilled and driven, helping to expand profit and retain talent. That's another thing they kept talking about is talent. We need to garner more talent. We need to bring more talent. And, it goes into the whole idea of what we do here with the value for value. And we ask, people with talent to contribute value with their talent. And it just it flies in the face of this system where they're trying to recruit these expert talent, the people that have the expertise, usually a younger crowd, according to this guy, who can really help out these businesses with the new flashy model. And by the way, have you heard, and you may have heard this, and the reason why I bring it up is No Agenda talked about it. They had no idea what it was. It's called funnels. Have you heard of funnels?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's like it's basically the word that's replacing landing pages and like entrepreneurship, internet marketing stuff.
But and it's not new necessarily. It's not online funnels. This is an online entrepreneur term for a long time, but it's just now sort of becoming more than just an obscure entrepreneurial term.
Right. So you'll probably hear more of that as things unfold here. But there you go. I mean, I don't have to go through the rest of this. I think we get the point here that this older generation is falling behind in the digital transformation. And interesting that Fast Company, which, by the way, if we go to that Harvard list that we have linked at the top of all the show notes that lists the U.S. media ownership, it's called the Index of U.S. Mainstream Media Ownership. It's published by Harvard. So, we're just trying to be as official, quote unquote, as possible.
By their own,
by their own admission
thing.
Number 92, you see Fast Company up there. Fast Company is owned by Mansueto Ventures. And Joe Mansueto, CEO of Morningstar, bought Fast Company Inc. in 2015 because he loved both brands and relied on them to build his own company, Morningstar. Now, Morningstar is you said it was like the food, like the fake meat company.
They make like one of the original sort of like vegetarian meat companies.
Yeah, I don't think that's the Morningstar of this guy. This guy's Morningstar is like a financial management company type of thing.
Got it.
Because I've seen reports by Morningstar, like market reports and stuff,
right.
So different. But also, hey, Morningstar, isn't there some mention about the Morningstar in the Bible? Old Testament referencing it to Lucifer there in Isaiah, but then in the New Testament, sort of a rightful place of the morning star being Jesus. So, there's that theology there. So there's that connection to consider. But it's no surprise that a company owned by that apparatus there, Fast Company, this outlet, would not only admit to the Great Reset, but just basically say like, hey, this Great Reset is a digital reset. It's creating a digital crisis because of the old way, because of Excel sheets and PowerPoints. The Gen X are holding us back, and we need to, they're saying we need intergenerational collaboration, but really what this means is, hey, old folks, get out of the way. It's time for the younger generation to take hold of how corporate
and it's
everything works.
It's not for the good of the generation. It's not even for the good of society. It's for the good of profiteering.
Yes. In
the name of submitting to the digital new world order. Yeah. It's not, there's no other reason. They don't sing the praises of the virtues of the younger generation. They don't do none of that. All it is no, they're better with the internet and more open to, the digital new world order. So you got to get them in there. It's about that. It's about adapting to become more digital and submit to have the AI run your municipality.
Yeah, there's a spot in here that I was trying to I forgot to highlight, but there's a spot in here that really gives away sort of the shortcomings of the current way to do things. Oh, here we go. Be aware of traps and keep an open mind. This is directives for leaders. Executives ought to understand that while many chief marketing officers and marketing directors may have 10, 15, or even 20 years of experience, that experience also spans eras that are in the past. You old, decrepit generation. You may have 10, 15, 20 years, but guess what? Yeah. Your 20 years experience is nothing. In the old way of doing things.
Yeah.
So it says you're oftentimes a college graduate fresh out of school, a young professional with 2 to 5 years of modern experience, or an ambitious millennial who has furthered their education with master's degrees or other programs with 10 years of experience can have a greater handle on the new and advanced technologies. And that's what this comes down to. It's a technocratic generation.
It's a weird situation because it's not untrue. But it's such a specific skill set that they're looking for and not really thinking about the benefits of the other benefits of experience that aren't necessarily about robots,
Right. Just general principled type of things.
Yeah, you're right. The life experience that has nothing to do with code or status updates or something. Yeah, this is incredibly ageist. Even as one of those silly millennials who, sort of tongue in cheek will sing the praises of our weird generation. This is, what this connects to is the further forgetting of our elders. It's the erasure of eldership. I don't mean the elderly. It's not an age thing. There's a difference between the elderly and elders. Elders have a wisdom and and an experience and the sort of an X factor of life that you can't necessarily learn in school or whatever. This is, and we've seen the erasure of elders. We've seen it in the Flippy update with, making robots that can take care of your elderly parents, as if that's the most important thing to do is to just have them kept alive like a pet. When taking care of your elders, there's a transfer of wisdom there. There's a transfer of tradition, or even not tradition in a way that could be described in harmful ways or whatever. It's just there's more that the elders of our society have to offer than just work experience
or flashy landing pages
and funnels. And what they're doing is they're talking here about trading in wisdom of the next generation for the robots, for the AI, for the digital, new world order. It is a much bigger thing. I don't think the writer even notices this.
No, they don't.
I don't think the writer knows it, but he is, or she is, directly doing their part to erase eldership. And we've already seen it in the family. We've seen it in, individuals' lives. We've seen the erasure of eldership with the lack of generational, housing, where you have a grandmother in the house. And then even towards the end, there's no taking care of grandma. You put them in a home. And now it's not even going to be putting them in a home. It's going to be having a robot take care of them that you can kind of tune into once in a while and have your voice come out of the robot.
Yeah.
But now, it's not even just the family. It's not just the individual. Now it's the marketplace. And if there's one thing that we have seen about the wisdom of eldership missing from the marketplace is that it doesn't work out well for the rest of us.
Yeah, the wisdom. A lot of wisdom comes from what you ought not to do. It's not what you ought to do, but what you ought not to do, and that's something that the elderly can teach us and show us.